And we've got all the right in the world on our side. And there ain't no reason to be afraid. And there ain't no reason to not take the challenge dead on. Because I'm going to tell you who we come from, folks. We don't come from some weak, jellyback, spineless people. That's not who we come from. None of us. And it doesn't matter what color you are, what nation your folks hail from, how much money you got. We all share the same name. We are Americans. And at Bunker Hill, there was Americans. And at Fredericksburg and Gettysburg, there was Americans. And at Iwo Jima, raising that flag on Suribachi, it was Americans. And at Pork Chop Hill, there was Americans. Quezon, there was Americans. And on 9/11, there was Americans who ran towards those burning buildings. That is who you share your heritage with. You do not share your heritage with a weak and ineffective people who cower at the sight of trouble. You share your heritage with a strong and brave people who are determined to hold on to their freedom and for the freedom of future generations. Guys, it's time for us to stand up and be that generation. It's time for us to stand strong and proud and remember who we are. That we are Americans. And as long as we stand as the vanguard of freedom in this nation, freedom will survive you. Not only survive, it will thrive. So guys, it's time to put on our packs. It's time to fix those bayonets. It's time to get ready. We got a fight on our hands. And our fight is not for us, for all those generations that's going to come behind us. Let's save America, folks.
We hold these truths to be self-evident. That all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
Okay, folks, get ready to fix your bayonet, because I'm going to take you on a learning journey of political poisonous persuasion, how it really works and why they do it. It's different than what you think it is. Most people think it's just about a media appearance. I'm going to give you the ugly truth of what it is and how it works and why they do it. Please do me a favor, folks. Share this program. Yes, I know you're seeing election integrity stuff more than ever. I hear that Rudy Giuliani mentioned me the other day on Benny Johnson's program. It's heating up all over the place, and there are many things to talk about. And, of course, we'll talk about them. But right now, I think you're going to have to get more of a grasp of what's really going on and how things work. Because remember, my job is to make you the smartest patriot in the room. And if you do not know how the system does it to you, you can't push back on it. You can't defend yourself against it. So do me a favor, folks. Give me the finger. The left does it. Why not you? Give me a finger and share this program. Today's program is brought to you by the fine folks at Goldco. Here's what I'm asking you to do. Request your free gold and silver kit today, just because now's the time to protect your money with gold and silver, especially if a 401k, IRA, retirement savings account you've been putting in for decades and decades. It's your money. And even if you wanted to try to get some out of it, many times they're going to try to ding you 50%. Don't let that happen, please. Go to jovanlovesgold.com. Also, it is that time of the year. It is time to start planning, PLA, planning a garden. So when you plant it, it keeps on giving. Here's a great bestseller we did. By the way, tons of rat bastards took the ebook, hacked it, copied it. Of course, they couldn't copy everything because ours is a massive high-def book. But look what they did with the covers. You've noticed my name's missing. They just do it on a price war. They don't want you to have the real thing. But imagine not only planting, but planting in a way you didn't have to dig, you didn't have to weed. It will regrow, regenerate itself. The oldest running food forest is about 4,000 years old. It's been feeding the same ancient community, known of for 4,000 years. In fact, this is an ancient technique that was lost. That's why I brought it back. Nobody was talking about it. I made this book a certain way. You don't have to flip from chapter to chapter to chapter, back and forth, look at footnotes and all this other stuff. Everything's there in each chapter. So like with specific plants that work for any one of the 8 levels that you plant in. If it works, then it's in that chapter. I don't want to give you a reference and have you go over here, but I also teach you how to use incredible weapons made by God. Things like assassin bugs. Yeah. A lot of the bugs you've been stomping on out there, God gave to protect your plants so we don't have to have pesticides. It's pretty amazing when you see them and you understand what they do. And I even tell you the very simple plants to plant that will say, hey, party's open over here at Jamie's garden. Come here. There'll be plenty to eat. And it's not your tomatoes. That's some of the things we teach. So you know what, folks, pay attention. I've done a lot of these, how to do it with fruit, grow fruit fast and larger and sweeter and better. And don't wait 5 or 6 years. It can be in the next season. Or how to plant, no weeding, right? No digging. It's all about surviving, folks, and you got to survive. Okay. And by the way, remember, we're going to have trouble in the midterms. Since the election, they've boosted Kamala up to over 75 million votes. And even though you're going to, well, it's the machines, and we're going to hand count and get rid of the machines in Venezuela and Serbia and stuff. Here's motor voter dropping illegal aliens. Here's the states that do it. Blue is Dem. Red is Republican. But you notice those are the swing states that have been taken over. Come on, folks, pay attention. This is where they do motor voter. Drop illegals right to the voter registration. Here's the states that don't do it. Can you tell what's similar about these things versus these things? And that's not the voting machines running. And there's no PCAPs involved, but there sure is a lot of crap involved. And even if you're hand counting, doesn't fix this shit. You got a long way to go. That's why I teach what I teach. So get ready on this, folks. We're going to talk about political poisonous persuasion. How is it that it gets people to vote against their own well-being and nation? You vote for that, it'll kill our nation, it'll kill your kids. But people vote for it, fight for it, riot for it. Why does it happen? That's what I'm going to expose to you, teach you how it works, how they got the gig. Be about 2 minutes. Share this. Let's get started.
Not fixing 2020 will damn our nation forever. The historic Maricopa County full forensic audit effort processed 20,895,610 digital and forensic images of varying formats, resulted in 208 million individual evidence-proof files. The system processed over 58 billion forensic measurements, resulting in over 2 trillion individual base computations. No hopium, no hype, just hardcore forensic evidence. Please make sure the Maricopa County Full Forensic Audit Archives survive. Donate now. So if you want what happened in the 2020 election fixed, then please donate to protect and secure this historic evidence. We can't do it without you. We need you. America needs you. Our future needs you. Please donate now.
Warning. The following program has been rated Dilligaff and is intended for open-minded audiences. If the truth offends you, or if you are allergic to focused intensity, intellectual athleticism, or the occasional F-bomb or even irreverent humor, please switch off now. If your delicate sensibilities need to be worried about or addressed, might we recommend the Underwater Basket Weaving channel to you. Otherwise, sit back, enjoy the wisdom, insight, and wicked sense of humor.
Cut the crap. How many times a day do you want to say that to politicians, the elite, the loony liberals, the fake news media, and the gender-confused, emotional socialist snowflake crowd? Cut the crap is your secret weapon for fighting for our freedoms and our great republic. It all begins with a massive mental enema, freeing you from the toxic news and politically correct views, which constipate your consciousness with stinking thinking. Your host, Jovan Hutton Pulitzer. He's known for calling out politicians and telling them to cut the crap. You've seen him on virtually every television network and listened to to him on Coast to Coast Radio. And now he's here to help you learn to fight for America. Culture, race, and American politics. They all have one thing in common. They all need to cut the crap. Now, here's your host, Jovan Hutton Pulitzer.
Okay, folks, we're going to talk about political poisonous persuasion, how it gets people to vote against their own well-being and their nation and their own kids and everything else. Talking about political persuasion for a moment, you may be seeing Arizona stuff really heating up. It's very funny. I'll just give you a little inside stuff. I'll get contacted by people who want to get close to me, or people that kind of inserted themselves in the audit. And they're always wanting to know, well, what do you have? What do you know? What's about this? What's going on your end? Although they kind of disavow me there. And every time that happens from a conservative, all of a sudden, the left, the true bad guys like the county recorders and stuff in Arizona, go batshit crazy. Yeah. Now, why do you think that is, that I'm supposedly talking to somebody in Arizona that's supposed to be a wonderful conservative, that I only hear from at intervals? Well, what do you have about this? What do you have about this? And then immediately the Soros media gets sick on me the next day, or there's this big flaming war on Twitter. One of them's going on right now because Arizona's freaking out because all of the information still exists. Unlike Georgia, which you're probably going to find in the missing boxes, are the actual ballots you need. That's how dirty this war is. It's bad. But when you understand the political games, political machinations, the wording, and how they do contracts, don't do contracts, you understand how they let themselves off the hook. What we're going to look as part of that today, we're going to look at is that psychology of how they get people to buy in to things. I want to give you an example of how influential this stuff can be. Okay? Let's say you're a country and you borrow the equivalent of $10 billion to save your failing country. Now, you've done this a few times over, okay? But in your last big tranche and your big honking note, and $10 billion is due, and you decide, because you've never heard of Zelensky and his racket, you decide, well, I'm just going to make that money for free. I don't want to pay it back. And so the way you decide to not be on the hook to pay it back is you go and you kill your bankers. Not only do you kill the bankers, these bankers have an incredible security force, incredible warriors. You just go and murder them all. Yeah, so you can get out from under the note. But it doesn't stop there, because people are going to ask questions. Oh, holy shit, where'd these very important people, bankers and warriors and everything go? They just kind of disappeared. Well, to cap it off, you got to let your political persuasion get out there, and you've got to convince everybody that those weren't bankers. Those weren't warriors. They were not even men of God. They were Satanist, evil, cadooble bobbles. Now, that campaign was so successful that even today, because I'm talking about something historically, even today, when I utter just a few numbers, you go, oh shit, that's bad. Well, what are those numbers? Well, Friday the 13th. Yeah, Friday the 13th. Sends chills down my spine. And people associate Friday the 13th with Jason and demons and Satan's cabal and all this other stuff. They just hadn't created the word MAGA yet. You get my point. And way back when, the Templars, you know of them through legends and stuff. Primarily, they were bankers and a warrior class. They were the ones that loaned the money to nations. Right? They were the ones that loaned the money to the nations. And when the king decided he was not going to pay because he'd really run it up, he sent troops to where they were sleeping, where he knew they were, and locked them all in a building, assassinated them, burning them up, and then basically painted them through political persuasion that they were Baphomet worshipers, they were evil, they were that, they were used ghosts, and they used demons. And that is why we have Friday the 13th, because the day that happened was Friday the 13th, which is why you, to this day, associate Friday the 13th with something evil and horrible. And it was a political hit job and a political cover-up. Kind of like January 6th was an insurrection. Now that you know that story, I'm going to, I don't recommend not paying your bills that way. I'm going to take you on a journey into psychology and how this works. But first, I want to show you a comedic look at it. It'll kind of give you a good marker. This is poisonous political persuasion. It is done by something called ELM. ELO hadn't come about yet, and the music wasn't out. It's done by ELM. But I want to show you ELM in action. Check this out. If you don't follow them, you should.
Can I help you?
Hi, I actually, do you live here?
Yeah, I do. And why are you recording?
So I saw your flag and I really appreciate it because I'm actually with the Fighting Fascism and Right-Wing Tyranny Symposium, or the FARTS. And we're under a lot of pressure right now because we're trying to defend against MAGA. So we're circulating a short questionnaire. I was wondering if you'd be willing to answer a couple questions.
Yeah, I can do that for you.
Okay, great. I'm Finn, by the way.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. I saw your flag, so I figured you'd be a good person to ask. Would you support labeling conservatives domestic terrorists?
Yeah.
Okay, great. And, I mean, we might as well call them maggots, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Do you do that sometimes?
I do.
Okay. Wow. And do you let your kids interact with maggots at school or anywhere?
No, absolutely not.
Okay. And would you support kind of just rounding up these maggots and putting them in jail or re-education camps so they can understand why their beliefs are harmful?
Yeah, I would.
Okay, great. And the last question, do you understand that you sound just like a Nazi?
No, I don't.
Yeah, you literally sound exactly like a Nazi. You want to round up the maggots and put them in jail and re-education camps, and you won't let your kids interact with them?
Okay, and what's your point?
Okay, you think you're against fascism, but you're actually endorsing fascist policies.
No, I'm not. Just get off my property.
Okay, now you really sound like a fascist because you're...
Off of my property.
I thought no
right
human
now.
is illegal.
Off
I
of
thought
my
no
property.
human was illegal.
Get off of my property now.
Take care.
Off.
I'll put you, the farts are gonna put you on a fart watch list.
She's going on the fart watch list. Josh Cedar. He's gay. Hardcore red, white, and blue, make America great again. Yeah. And what he does is he uses this psychological trick. ELM is what it's called. He does a short version of it. And he goes right into the face of these weirdos. Yes, you can join the farts. He goes right into the face of these weirdos using ELM to pierce those barriers, and then he flips it to force them to look at themselves. I could not think any better way than to introduce you to this poisonous persuasion. Now, you've seen this before, but you have always felt or believed, most people, that it was a photo op, such as this. All of the kabuki theater, everybody way back when in the Capitol, Dems kneeling with their Africanese dress and garb and everything else, kneeling, right? Well, you think it's a photo op. Or maybe it was elected officials in cities marching with constituents to ICE centers saying, close down ICE, blah, flickety, blah, blah. Well, that's part of this too. Maybe you saw this, our own White House flying that flag at our White House as they had topless dudes with dongs dancing on the lawn. Speaking of boobs, maybe you saw this one. That's kind of a double entendre. She's a boob, but she has great boobs. Yeah, AOC, right? AOC. And you saw these. Now, you think of it, right? You think of it as photo ops. I want to let you know, to think of what that is as just a photo op is an excuse that you've been given to give them a pass on it. However, it's advanced psychological warfare and recruitment. And that's why my topic is political poisonous persuasion and how it gets people to vote against their own well-being and our nation. I love America. Let all the illegals in. Well, I have to pay for it. Yes, it's staged. All of us know it's staged. I want to take it to the next level. You poo-poo it as just liberals or whatever acting out. You poo-poo it as a photo op. You poo-poo it as it's, fucking libtards. Not at all. It is one of the most advanced weapons ever used against mankind. Now, let me start this off with a few key facts you need to understand. You don't change minds by engaging in intense debate. That's why predominantly Dems and weak people will not debate. I want you to understand. And these are facts, period. Science supports it. Follow science. Well, you don't change minds by engaging in debates. You don't change minds by overwhelming people with facts. Those are two things that do not ever change people's minds. We've got decades and decades and decades and decades of psychology. Facts, or facts alone, have a zero batting average on changing people's minds regarding politics. Now you know why you're beating your head against the wall. Pay attention to this one. This is a zing doozy. If you really take this to heart and you understand how it's done, and then you understand the solutions I'm going to give you on the opposite end, you are going to become a powerhouse. And ironically, has nothing to do with attention span. Zero. This is a major secret weapon. But it's time on the right, people that are conservative, people that love the country, literally you want to know how to deploy this yourself because you can use it. But I want you to know, facts alone never change. They never work in changing anybody's minds at all. And if you were to see me debate, yes, I can debate, but when you see my style of debate, you will understand I can deliver facts in a way that can change somebody's political mind, which we're going to be talking about today. Give you an example. A lot of studies, this has been known for decades. Back in World War II, when this really got known, it was actually studied and found that you could tell people the facts about Hitler and how bad, right, he was. But the people on the ground, especially the people in America, would keep the same opinions. You wouldn't change their political opinions in a lot of people. Because you remember, Hitler was heralded here. People forget that. And what happened is as information went into people, and it still happens to this day, their belief systems stay the same. You know it. You probably have it going on with your kids. Your belief system, you can give it to them, you can share it to them, but their belief system stays the same. Now, the most common misconception about politics is that politics is just about ideas. Want to send a man to the moon? That it's just about ideas, period. Here's what you need to know. And as soon as I say these words, it's going to click, especially when you get to the dim side. But I'm going to show you how it works. It's different than what you might have thought. Politics is not primarily about ideas. Politics is really about identity. Now you're going to go, I've heard that. Now I'm going to deliver for you so you'll understand what it is. See, here's what happens. When beliefs feel personal, pay attention. When beliefs feel personal, the brain automatically goes into defense mode. Now, I'm going to replay that one simple, brilliant video I just played for you. Listen again. He starts with a belief system she holds. All he changes is to the other belief system on the opposite side, and watch how she reacts.
Can I help you?
Hi, I actually, do you live here?
Yeah, I do. And why are you recording?
I want you to pay attention. The total disarmament with him, why he's recording and everything else, is because he presents an identity. Using that identity, he presents a mirroring belief system until he presents the opposing belief system. But it's all done by identity.
Can I help you?
Hi, I actually, do you live here?
Yeah, I do. And why are you recording?
So I saw your flag, and I really appreciate it because I'm actually with the Fighting Fascism and Right-Wing Tyranny Symposium, or the FARTS, and we're under a lot of pressure right now because we're trying to defend against MAGA. So we're circulating a short questionnaire. I was wondering if you'd be willing to answer a couple questions.
Yeah, I can do that for you.
Okay, great. I'm Finn, by the way.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. I saw your flag, so I figured you'd be a good person to ask. Would you support labeling conservatives domestic terrorists?
Yeah.
Okay, great. And, I mean, we might as well call them maggots, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Do you do that sometimes?
I do.
Okay. Wow. And do you let your kids interact with maggots at school or anywhere?
No, absolutely not.
Okay. And would you support kind of just rounding up these maggots and putting them in jail or re-education camps so they can understand why their beliefs are harmful?
Yeah, I would.
Okay, great. And the last question, do you understand that you sound just like a Nazi?
No, I don't.
Yeah, you literally sound exactly like a Nazi. You want to round up the maggots and put them in jail and re-education camps, and you won't let your kids interact with them?
Okay, and what's your point?
Okay, you think you're against fascism, but you're actually endorsing fascist policies.
No, I'm not. Just
Yeah.
get off my property.
Okay, now you really sound like a fascist because you're.
Off of my property.
I thought no
right now.
human is illegal.
Off
I
of my
thought no
property.
human was illegal.
Get off of my property now.
Take
Get
care.
off.
I'll put you. The farts are gonna put you on a fart watch list.
Well, she's on a fart watch list. What did I tell you? Everything's about identity. It is about identity. And through identities, they make the beliefs personal to the people they're appealing to. When you personalize it, and he practiced both. That's why it's a prime example of how this works. When it's the wrong personalization, the brain goes into defense mode, which is what you saw. So how does this work? You will, from now on, if you take this in and can stay the duration and learn, you will be able to see this in every political ad, every news story, every magazine story, every debate, every politician. This is the formula. Now, what happens in this psychosomatic process that makes people respond is you basically build trust before you argue. I saw your flag, and that you basically are saying you're building trust by the look. He built trust by saying, I saw your flag out here. That's great. Do you call them maggots? I call them maggots too. That's basically to show you understand the other side. And then the third part of this action is to make your case. Now, all he changed in this process, which I'm going to teach you, is he just changed the third action. But it all begins with you build trust, you show you understand the other side, and then you present your case and make your argument. This is a far more different and sinister version of NLP or neuro-linguistics programming, but it kind of works on the same premise. This is deeper, okay? Basically what happens is studies show that people are more persuaded to agree with someone they feel respects them. You have a right to be here. You have all these rights. We care about you. This is unjust. That's it. And so what happens is, under this respect part, I showed you all those photos. See, that's the prop. Those are not photo ops. Those things aren't for you. That is the unholy trinity between government, media, and academia, reaching those brains that basically say, hey, we respect you. You're kneeling, we respect you. It's the validation process. Okay? Now, just think about, who are the people you listen to? You truly listen to? Well, they're the people you trust. And when do you feel open to listening? You feel open to listening when you feel heard and understood. By the way, when you see me, I am what I am, what I am, what I am, and I present how I present. No formula, it's just here it is. Natural process. But when you look at it as a political tool, the very first thing they all go for is to say, we hear you. We understand you. Fake crying. Look around to the cameras to see if anybody's listening. This is the exact reason social media has accelerated all of this mess. We're in a world of hurt. Social media is the culprit because that hurtling through space accelerator is social media, where it's very easy for people to act in a moment in time. We hear you. We understand you. I don't know what all the hand signals are, but you know what I'm talking about. Now, polarization is not new, but this is where polarization works. You're watching polarization play out, but you're watching a very dangerous version of polarization because the media and social media allows this to be pushed way too far. And that's why we're in the dangerous, makes no freaking sense why people would be voting, right? Would be voting against their own economic well-being. This is how it works. And it's basically called ELM, which basically stands for Elaboration Likelihood Model. Write that down, ELM. Elaboration Likelihood Model. It's a well-known theory of persuasion that explains how people are convinced by messages and why some attitudes change deeply while some attitudes only change temporarily. How they can piss people off for a short time, or how they can get you to kick in windows, steal Nike shoes, and say it is for reparations. That's how sinister this is. Now, elaboration part of it basically means how much mental work does someone have to do on a message. That's elaboration. Whether they think carefully through the arguments or whether they're just kind of reacting mostly to surface cues, right? ELM is about that trend, and it's concentrating on what's known as the two roots, right? And that's ROUTES, not ROOTS, the two roots. Now, you have two roots into your brain. One is called the central root. Basically, that's higher level thinking. And the other one is called the peripheral root, which is low thinking. So you have high thinking and you have low thinking. I think you can see that all across society, right? Okay. Which route it goes into the person's brain depends upon their motivation. And then it depends upon their ability. And so what the system is tapping is it's actually kind of reaching in and doing this mind massage to tap people to give them their motivations. Why do they care? And to give them their ability. Do they have time? Do they have the time? Do they have the knowledge? Do they have the focus? There are low-level idiots. There are high-level idiots. There are low-functioning alcoholics. There are high-functioning alcoholics. You follow what I mean? Okay. So in the central root of this process, this is where people are engaged, where the people actually engage and evaluate the quality of arguments that they're listening to, and it's based on evidence, logic, trade-offs, and implications, meaning you're kind of going through the thinking process. Here's the evidence. Oh, that makes sense. What would happen if? Oh, how would that affect me? If the arguments are strong and relevant, the resulting attitude change is usually more durable. This is where teaching makes a big difference. If you understand the evidence, and by the way, it works both ways. If you understand the evidence and you can see the logic in it, and then you can see, wow, if we go from constitutional republic to communist, the trade-offs, then you kind of understand what happens here, right? Now, when somebody is of that mode and it's more durable, those are the people that are the most resistant to counter arguments. If you fall into that process, most of you do, by the way, if you fall into that process, you are much harder to reach. You know that. I know that. You're least likely to be controlled. And you know, all of this is about political control. And so they use this methodology because it works both ways. They want to ferret out real quick. They won't make a difference in you. And that's why they ignore you. That's why they act like you don't exist. Because they're never going to change your mind. On the opposite side, right? On the opposite side, they want the type of persuasion that they can make an issue feel personally important. Now, what happens is when a person is low distraction level, you don't have a lot of distractions. You don't have chaos going on around you. You are the type of person that then dives into policy details, that dives into comparisons of what's going on in sources and debates. You see how it works? Now, this is where the chaos element is incredibly important. Do not believe this only happens on the left. We only have a uniparty, but if I could split them out thematically and use the left and the right does it too. The right will throw you all kinds of bullshit chaos, knowing you're a more logical thinker, but they'll still throw bullshit chaos to you, hoping you get distracted in the chaos. 7 rays of light. JFK's still alive. Q's got it. We tagged all the ballots with radar. They do that because they'll still win a certain amount of you in that realm of even being conservative, being a person that's not subjected to this as much as the left can be subjected to us. That's why people on the left and the right look so fucking different. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. Do you believe you can look at people and tell whether they're on the left or the right? That's how much this is ingrained. You can kind of really look at people and understand they're a freaking libtard. Get it? Okay, so I want you to understand it works on both sides. On that central route, you're more apt to debate with friends, et cetera, et cetera. Now let's go to the peripheral route. These are people who do not analyze message content. Do you think any of these people think deep? And you're right. You can look at most people and tell their political orientation. And then there's some that break the mold. They're out there too. That's why you can't just go by looks. You got to go by reasoning. Now, here's what happens. When somebody is the one where they can get in on the peripheral route, where they focus, peripheral route, these are people that don't deeply analyze message and content. Instead, they rely on cues to be told what to do. Here are the cues. Ready? Here's what these people rely on. Now, let's go back for a minute. Do you rely on somebody who's informed? Do you rely on going to factual sources? Do you rely on having facts? Do you rely on comparing sources? Do you rely on seeing the debate and understanding? Of course you do. Here's the cues on the peripheral side. Ready? They base their decisions on how confident the speaker seems. How good or catchy of a label that the party has. Oh, are those people endorsed? Do they have a slogan? What's their emotional tone? Imagery. People like me support this. Crowd size. Even visual production quality. Does that sound like the left to you? Of course. They're always working on the visual production quality. You would see it if you were on the streets. They might have 50 protesters, but news makes it look like 50,000 protesters. Their design and their role in this process, just like those bullshit photos I showed you of AOC weeping at the fence, this is where it is. This is where that message is sent. This is the actual message that gets into people's brain that are busy with just all kinds of nonsense stuff, or they're overwhelmed, or they don't have a real interest in it. You know, the person who's the doobie smoker that's just going to, yeah, man, sit around and get stoned, not going to think about a lot of shit. Tell them that if they take away weed, they're going to be pretty soon cutting off your winker and not letting you breathe air and taxing it. It's all that tie together, right? And so this is for the people that will gloss over when the topic feels too complicated, right? These are what the system right now is creating and manufacturing to be common in everyday political life. Noise, bullshit, stupid ass stories, etc. This is why ELM works so well in politics. Because political communication happens under exactly the same conditions that push people to the peripheral route. Now that sounds like a little weird, right? Well, get ready for this. You can still possess that core, that common root, and be a logical thinker. And on the logical thinking side, remember I told you Republicans do it too, conservatives do it too. If that shit gets too heavy, if it gets too much, if Pam Bondi's not arresting anybody, we're never going to see the Epstein files. And if that chaos gets too much, even in that logical thinking mind, because that's how you're dispossessed, right? Or disposed. Sorry. You will shut off. It's just too much. I'm tired of hearing it. I don't want to fucking talk politics anymore. I can't take this shit. Fucking Republicans not doing a thing. What happens to your brain? What happens to your brain? Your brain, even in your life, contrary to the type of person you are, automatically will begin to switch to the peripheral route. And what happens? I got less time for this shit. Fucking it. I'm overloaded. These fucking rat bastards don't even know who to watch. There's just too much shit out there. Bingo. You see why nobody's immune to it? Nobody's immune to it. And the very reason I'm teaching this is because I want you to understand it is a tactic. And if you think it is only the left, you're right. You feel fucking hung out to dry. There you go. Everybody's experiencing it. I want you to understand this is so powerful and so sinister in nature to use, couldn't get it out, that it'll even take the most solid thinker and it will break you down. And your mind will naturally take you to a place that you would never be in the first place ever. This is why you have to learn this. This is why you have to do gut checks. And what do I always tell you? And I've told you forever, focus. You lose that focus, you can become as mean, as belligerent, as divisive, as hard fucking headed and unreasonable as the left. And then they got you. At that time, both parties got you, but it's a unisystem, so they both do it. If you fall into that, they've got you. Period. And this is why everything in politics is designed, the way communications happens in ELM, is to push people to the peripheral route. It's even why they can throw all this, not look at anything in elections that'll really make a difference, push it off, 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 and get to the end. Well, we've devised this little sticker, and if you wear this sticker, you're good, you can vote. We solved it. And you go, yay, you did something, when it was nothing. That's the entire game. The entire game. Keep you in the peripheral route. We got to keep you on limited time because there's just too much to go through. That's why I try to focus and teach. Don't be distracted by all the shit, because what will happen is information overload. You will become high emotion. When you become high emotion, then what happens? Get ready for it. When you move to that mode, you're going to recognize this too, because it's going on right now. You join a race that is called competition for attention. Get ready. Erica Kirk and the Jews killed Charlie. That is the competition for attention. They'll throw all this chaos out there. They'll throw all these little flavors and shit out there. They'll find one that works. Erica Kirk really set up Charlie, just took his money. That's all it was. She wasn't there. She pulled the trigger. She loaded the bullet. That was her initials on the trigger. Her kids told me in a dream. When they find one that works, even on the right, then they will put out their messages. And you'll see other people echoing it, pushing it, because they know it's the one that works. See, and you thought I was going to talk only about the left. Hell no. We're captured. We're captured in this. And that's why they know that people, predominantly, campaigns know this, don't read long policies. That's why the bullshit I told you, they focus on little bitty bullshit names. The SAVE Act. Because they know you don't read it. And therefore, it's all designed for short messages that function as quick mental shortcuts. By the way, that's party identity. Everything's either strength or weaknesses. Strength or weaknesses. Either or. Us against them. Libs, Dems. Strength. And they put them in these divides. That's where the hyphens become really dangerous, by the way. And in that environment, what then takes over? Slogans, party identity, fear and hope mongering. Oh, that's a trusted messenger. I trust Candace. Oh, my, you get it? That's the play. Now, this is going on around us more than it ever has been before. And so you have to understand, in all campaigns, in all messaging, they are actually running two persuasion strategies simultaneously. And why do they run two persuasion strategies simultaneously? The same party, same shit. It's because they know the root in your brain is only going to split one or two ways. It's going to be a high thinking mode, or it's going to be a low thinking mode. And that is why politicians, news, etc., will go whoop, 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 whoop. They're watching what you're responding to in order to get it into your brain. That's it. And so what happens, you got to understand the root is, and the root matters as much as the message. So if a voter is being reached through the central root mode, if the voter that you need to reach is in a central root mode, you better have strong pitches. And it better be laden with a lot of facts. Doesn't have to be real facts. It just has to be a lot of facts. Why? Because if it's weak, these people are going to scrutinize it and they'll backfire on you. See the balancing act they have to do? If the voter is in a peripheral mode, which is low, but if they're high peripheral, that's where the weak argument works. The cues feel stronger. I like the candidate. He's a hero. What do you mean? He spent $40 million of his own money, put his company up, went bankrupt. They tried to shut him down, fucking cut him all out of retail. But you missed the most important fact, that all the PCAPs was a fucking lie. That's the peripheral. That's how it works. That is why it works. And that is why there is so and I told you it causes a fight. You can look at somebody and know they do not pay attention to details. They had no fucking facts. They keep on putting up idiots. They actually got caught in court admitting, I never had them, but people will fucking defend them like they're a prophet. Now do you understand how powerful this weapon is? Now do you understand how these dynamics play out? Because in that peripheral side of it, which is very powerful, it's only the symbology that matters. That's it. The symbology. No facts. Here's how it works. Who's who did it? No. Melt them into prison bars. Are you beginning to get it? It's a mechanism to even take people that are central route processing, the high route, and bring them to the peripheral route. And they can keep you on the peripheral right. If they can keep you on the peripheral right, they change how you process the information, and you won't decide it on facts. You won't. Well, text expert, just as big as Google, one of the most successful text experts in the world, infiltrated an answer call, and here was these nuclear rocket scientists on it and said, fuck them, we got Trump, don't worry about it. Now, what is it disconnect with that? No proof, notes, no emails, no phone records, no witnesses, no nothing. This persuasive route, this route that takes you to the second part, is what severs your central route. You can come in on central route. I want elections fixed. The motherfucker stole it. And during that process, because you think you're getting facts, they win your confidence, tell you what you want to hear, keep you in that mode, and they gently switch you over to that secondary channel, and that secondary channel can capture you, can own you, and does own you. And they can't even see it. And I'm telling you about the conservative side because you damn sure well know it works on the liberal side. But see, the divides, they need it. You look over here and think, well, I'm not one of them. I can't be manipulated that because I don't have pink hair. I don't have blue hair. I don't have a fucking nose ring, and I'm not out marching. Yet, you're doing the same thing. You're controlled the same way. Sickening, isn't it? Now, this symbolic messaging that they use, this is what campaigns have to do. This is all of it. Again, it is all shaped by identity. If I asked you in chat, ready for this? Give me the identity associated with pillow loving. What would it be? If I just used the euphemism for Mike Lindell and I wanted the symbology, what is it? Patriot, Christian, giving it all, crosses, scripture in each broadcast. Look at all the people that got Tina in prison. That put forth bullshit theories. You understand they did the same thing. I'm a Christian. Pay with me. Jesus. That other guy doesn't say Jesus enough. I'm a patriot. I know some of you hate hearing this, but I'm telling you the truth. See, I already know you understand the left does this. The problem's not the left. There is no left, there is no right. And people don't even get it. People don't even get it. I too got suckered in until I started doing gut checks. I too fell for it. I got out of it far much quicker. But I too fell for it because I took the face value part of it first. And when you look at it, when you learn how to do this and you can parse it apart, you see that the messaging is always low peripheral. Always. Because that's the root that sticks. That is the root that will take an honest, sane mom with 4 fucking kids, won't feed her kid crap, right? No chemicals, no shit. They all exercise, they have great things, but will be out on the street fighting for an illegal alien that rapes kids. This is it. This is it. You're beginning to learn that, yes, our patriotism got weaponized against us. Christianity got weaponized against us. The cross, scripture, got weaponized against us. Now, you probably noticed in me, years ago, I walk my talk. You didn't see pillow ads. I stopped it. That was it. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if I got 110% of the sale. Do you understand? Do you understand why a lot of these events are held in churches? Don't kill the messenger with this. I'm very selfish. I like my country. I like my country. I love my freedoms. I want us to stay an incredible constitutional republic. I think you're blessed if you're born in this country, because if you can think it, you can do it. I'm telling you, I'm fucking selfish. I'm fighting for that. We all just happen to be fighting for the same things. But I'm telling you, even though I'm fighting for you, I'm fighting for me. I told you a long time ago, you got to get selfish about this shit. It's your front door and your back door, baby. Fuck yeah, you're right. I was poisoned at the church. And you're right. We are human and they play us like fiddles. That is why this fight is so hard. That is why this fight is so dangerous. All of it's designed to find that path based upon how you process information. And then once they understand how you process information, to very subtly move you into the one channel they can control the most. And that's why if I was to stand up a rally and say, Mike Lindell's full of shit, it was all a con, people will want to go to fisticuffs in the fucking audience. I'm more likely to get shot by somebody because I call out the right and the Christian wearing the cross and the whatever than I ever am by the left. Everybody's in mass has been moved to this one channel. It's the low frequency channel. And that's what we have to fight about. So you have to understand campaigns, regardless what it is shaped by identity. You swear to God you are not in the identity crowd. I am an American. I'm not a fucking Mexican American or gay American or African American. I'm not a German American. I'm not a Jewish American. For me, you don't have that hyphen. Boy, I wish you really knew how many people truly bought into identity politics. The only identity I believe you should accept is you and God. You and God. I know that sounds weird because I think you and church or church has been weaponized. But again, the system is designed to shake you out really quick based on how do you process. High goes this way, low goes this way. Then they get you grouped. Do you think they ignore the people in the high? Fuck no. You're the most valuable. The low shit, it fucking comes easy. They are a dime a dozen. What they need is they rally all the high thinkers into a group. I'm a patriot. I'm a Christian. I'm America, red, white, and blue. Hell, I even shit a red turd first, a white turd second, and a blue turd. And when they hit the commode, they bind together. Swoon. And then begin a process using your identity to bring you right here. And it's all shaped by identity, it's all shaped by emotion, and it's all shaped by the media environment and attention. And by the way, where do you see all the media attention, especially something like this that's so critical, election integrity? You might begin to recognize the pattern that way. Who didn't cover the real information? Who kept on putting out slogans, who sold lies, but there were no results, are the ones that got the most media attention. And so campaigns, they either try to raise, what would be the word, elaboration, when they believe they have arguments they can win. They'll want you a little deeper. But if they don't really think they can win it, or they have no intent to win it, they keep elaboration low, and that's where it's cues. And that's where they set you up for the emotional and identity, because that's the strongest of all. They can actually say everything you like. Make sense, logic through. They won you, boom, and then they drag you down. But see, you bought in because you bought in on identity. You didn't buy in on hardcore fact checking. President Trump has to play the game. I want you to understand the one person in the country that has to play this game is Donald J. Trump. There is no way he cannot play this game. And he's going to endorse people you fucking hate. But he is forced to do it because they're choosing the lesser of evils, and it still needs to look like it's for everybody on the right side. You get it? Now, The symbolic part is all key to it. Everything's symbol. That's why you see so many symbols in this stuff. You ever wonder why somebody goes around and speaking carrying a little leather briefcase with nothing in it, wears the same jacket, same clothes, same hair strung out? That's symbology. That you're seeing is a curated symbol. Blue shirt, cross on the outside, curated symbol. Now, when you can co-opt curated symbols, now what you've got is a shortcut. Okay? Now you got the shortcut. Because if they can have you make shortcuts only, now you're going to find a very interesting dividing line in me. I kind of understand how this works intimately. And that's why I have no problem even calling out President Trump as he's run. And that's why I get a lot of flack for being a team player. Well, you're going against other people. You want the same thing. Fuck no, we do not want the same thing. Let me tell you why. On my side, we got to fucking win, and the win is by an absolute fix. So don't tell me I'm fighting against my own side and we're fighting for the same thing. Why do you do that? I don't. Because I understand the system has packed people into shortcuts. It'll be an image, it'll be a phrase, it'll be a ritual, it'll be a signal that tells you that someone is on your side without forcing you to basically look into them, to look into their background, to look into their policy, to look into the way they vote. Now do you get it? For me, I refuse to take shortcuts. And what happens is, since I learned how this worked a long time ago, you get no cred from me by just saying, well, I'm a patriot and I'm this and I did this, or I served in the military, this. Zero. When you get introduced to me or interact with me, you fucking start at zero. You don't come in with cred. Weird, right? You don't come in with cred. I can have a little bit of respect for somebody because they've been in the right position, but they do not come in with cred. Those are two different things. And what I do is I research, audit, inspect to begin to raise their credibility, because I understand how dangerous the curated symbol or symbology is. And I just got to tell you the truth on this. I want you to understand this about me. It may sound weird, but you may get it now. And I've said it before, and you might not have understood why I say it. I have more respect, simple respect. I'm not talking all respect. Simple respect for the fucking liberal that says, I hate America and want to take over your fucking country and I wish MAGA would die. Because they're speaking their truth. The one I despise the most. Look at what a good Christian I am. Look at what a good conservative. Look how much money I donated. I'm just trying to save the country just like you. And it's all bullshit. That's evil. That's the priest who says, come with me back here, son. We're going to say a special prayer. Here, put this little one-eyed meat pipe in your mouth. It's a direct connect to God. It's that level of evil. Why? Because the priest sticks out his dick to the congregation and says, I want a little boy to do this. Everybody has a chance to run because they told their truth. They weren't caught in a trap. Do you get it now? This is why people say Jovan doesn't play fair or doesn't play on a team. No, I don't play on a team. Me, God, my family. Me, God, family, America for what it used to be. That's why I'm trying to teach you this. I had a call with a senator yesterday. Who literally used the word with somebody about me saying grifter. Pissed me off. So I reached out to the senator. said, why don't you explain this to me? Grifter? You use that word? Well, that's what some of my staff said. So I push on that. Well, it wasn't really my staff. It was a constituent said it. And I said, that's not the issue either. I'm calling you because you fucking said it. Well, I said, you understand? That's why I always say the right cannibalizes its own. Let me tell you what a great grifter I am. Yeah, I took a $210,000 contract in Maricopa and have spent $3.5 million through it. I'm the best motherfucking grifter in the world. Well, in my state, people thought you were going to add this, and you wanted all this money to do it. And I say, show me. Those words never came out of my mouth. Never said it, never offered it, never anything. I don't focus on a state outside of Minnesota. If anything I've done, it's to build a system for America that will stop all this shit in the voter rolls. That's a 50-state phenomenon, folks. Everybody has to participate in. And by the way, it doesn't happen on its own, and it's not built in somebody's back room for a kid because they got a program on how to write an app. Well, everybody's volunteers, and I go, okay, get a volunteer to do the right thing. Well, I don't know how to do it. Well, then you understand. This is tech, not volunteerism. And that's how all these lines get blurred. But it can take even good people to utter one wildly destructive word. And what is that? Get ready. What is it? A packaged, symbolic shortcut. A packet symbolic shortcut. Robbie says, Mike Lindell uses a statement claims to be broke while raising money constantly. Let's see. Let's just do a gut check. Hold on. Mike Lindell Corp is $1.275. So we're going to say $1.28. He owns the majority shares, and today it is worth, what's the cap? 70 million? Is that what it is? And he's selling pillows, and he's raising money. How's he broke? Oh, by the way, and those stocks have no restriction. Zero. Because it's not a NASDAQ company. It's not a NASDAQ company. If he wants to sell it all off today, he could. He's not restricted by it. And it basically has no revenues. So tell me how he's broke. Again, people don't focus on that. But that's the message. Those are shortcuts. It's not true. Now, you'd be claiming you were broke too, and you would hide your money. If somebody's coming, like Dominion's coming after you for $1 billion, you better every time you're on fucking TV say you're broke. But you can look with your own eyes and see it's bullshit. Symbology. And so what happens in ELM terms, they need this to get there to get you to the peripheral roots. It forces people to make quick judgments, not long judgments. Quick judgments, not long judgments. And it's interesting, the symbols that they throw out are a combination of, they're not fake. They throw fake ones, and then they throw ones that are fake to make you think the real ones are not good. It's all Q-driven. Now, where have you seen this operationally? I'm just going to give you two in closing. You've watched this tactic happen en masse very fast with the LGBTQ of America. Pride symbolism. And what did the left say? We see you. What were lawmakers doing? marching in pride parades, rainbow flags at the White House. I showed you that. That has everything to do with what ELM needs, and ELM needs most of all, we see you. That is why you cannot find a single true conservative saying transgender people need to be killed, but you can ask transgender people and they say MAGA people want us hung, want to send us to concentration camps. That's the power of this shit. And it can take these kids who are already unstable on the puberty blockers, and that's why they will walk into a school or a church and murder everybody, because they actually believe in the ELM they were given that if they don't do it, they're going to end up dead. There you go. And it all begins with, here's the two things it has to have. You ready? I'm going to give you elements this needs. Let's use the LGBTQ FU 2897711. Let me give you that. Let's see if this resonates with you. The Dems had to say, we see you. Did that happen? Put it in chat. Did that happen? Sure did. Then they had to say what? You belong. Did they do that? You belong. We see you. You belong. And then they create the badging system, not the badger system, the badging system. You know what the badging system is? They create a badge that they can put into an environment that can be reduced down to a single image online. And therefore it becomes socially relevant. Can you see that? The badging event? What was the badging event of the pandemic? What was the badging event of the pandemic? Put it in chat. What was the badge they issued in the pandemic to see if you complied? The mask. What'd they say? We care about you. They want to kill people. You're doing the right thing. Do you get it? This is all 100% ELM in every part of it. So in the gay community, and I use it as an example, every one of these came to be. And what happened is they take that symbol, that badge, and then they give it the imprimatur effect to make it as important as what? You know what the imprimatur effect is? I'm going to show it to you. You tell me if you can devise in one single image why this image is so critical. Get ready. This is all ELM. What is the badging and imprimatur effect of this image? It is that this is important as the USA. It is, pride is the center. It's the central thing. It is important. It comes between everything else. We have to deal with it. America, this is you. And by the way, it's on the fucking White House. Now, do you understand ELM? Now, do you understand why it's placed in a dividing we or them, left or right? Now, do you understand how powerful and how much ELM is used in all of this? Yeah, that's the badging right? The imprimatur effect, etc. What did the debates come? Well, whether the flag should fly at the Stonewall National Monument or the Park Service or whatever, they know that people will get pissed. But then the dialogue becomes, well, it's as important as the Lincoln Memorial. No, it's fucking not, but you're fucking debating it. No, it's not, but you're right. By the way, you post live streams in my program, you're gone forever. You get this, folks? You understand how this works? There you go. No, it's as important as the White House and the United States of America flag. This is ELM, which is the elaboration likelihood model. And what happens? How does this work? Why does this work? I'll play it out to you. For people in the low mode, elaboration mode, it provides a heuristic. It basically, you look at this, you're on my team. You're on my team. Get it? So it takes the low person that says, you're on my team. What do they want to do? They want to belong. It takes the other people that are highly motivated on the other end because it's touching their identity, because it's presented its safety and equal treatment. It increases their motivation to pay attention. But they're paying attention to that one thing. You see how it works now? You see how they play both strategies and they catch you. No matter what, they catch you in both. No matter what. No matter what. You're caught in both. Now you understand why, for me, nobody comes with credibility. I don't give a fuck who you are. And I will call you out equally on the right than the left. Doesn't mean I'm not a team player. And doesn't mean, well, you're all playing for the same band. Can't you get along? Fuck no, I can't get along when they practice this shit because I know what they're doing. ELM effect. ELM effect. And so this is a dual processing route. They don't care which one you have, but they're going to lock you into one. This is why. You don't think it works? This is why the LGBTQ is predominantly Democrat. Because they won. Now, granted, there's tons of gay people out there, the conservatives. Who beats them up? The gay people who are Democrats. Told you you'll fight even people that are the same like you. Black person, you're conservative, you're a fucking Uncle Tom. Remember, I told you I'm more likely to have to fight my way out of a convention if I told the truth about Mike Lindell than I'd ever be walking into an Antifa fucking meeting. It's because they're going to turn people into fighting fools. That's it. That's it. Now, what happens, just so you understand, in writing laws for politicians, this particular formula becomes the most substantial part of political commitments. Why do they stand there and say, we're going to fight for trans winky rights? Why do they say that? It is the highest level of peripheral Q. That's it. It is the highest level of we support you. It is why we got to do the Equality Act. It has nothing to do with really protecting you. I'm sorry, gay people, pink people, purple people, tan people, whatever. It doesn't have a fucking thing to do with you guys. That's why I said, you heard me say this before, I can be in a foxhole fighting for this country. You can fucking be the most transgendered, weird-ass, creepy-ass fuck in the world. I will still fight with you in that foxhole in that moment in time because we're fighting for our country. Won't keep me from telling you, brother, you've been fucking conquered. All of those policies, same-sex marriages, No boys' bathroom, no girls' bathroom. What Obama gave us has nothing to do at all with the person's proclivities in the bedroom. Not a fucking thing. It has everything to do with predominance of party and winning your vote. They don't give a rat's ass about you unless you have a really fine ass and go to their pizza party. Aside from that, they'll use the shit out of you. That sounds weird, doesn't it? But you know what I mean. All of it is signaling. Every bit of it is signaling. Every bit of it is signaling. They want you in the tug of war. That's why you can't agree with somebody on the left. They don't want you to ever find agreement, because when you find agreement, you're talking together, and that's deadly. That's why they got to make everything opposites, everything war. That's it. If you ever start talking, they got to start all over again. Because see, if you start talking, you're going to kind of go out of low peripheral. You're going to switch to high peripheral, central processing, and they got to start all fucking over again. You'll get back quicker each time, but they got to start all over again. And that's why they can't do it. That's why they swap illegal for, but the dreamers. The dreamers, family, no family. Let's think about this for a moment. Those are your kids. Those are your families. You can't tear away moms and dads from their kids just because their dad and mom came in illegal. They're dreamers. They're here. They'll go over here. Fucking Christians don't know what they're doing. That's not a son. That's not a penis. That's a vagina. Get them out of the fucking home. Punish those people. All of this, Dream Act, every bit of it. And by the way, right now you're watching the ELM phase of everything to do with U.S. immigration and foreign enforcement. Because when they say defund ICE, they're saying, we want you to stay here. We don't want you to get sent away. That is drives all that audience about that mom that has 4 kids. They're precious. She feeds them the finest food in the world, et cetera, et cetera. She doesn't even allow cussing in her home. Fuck, she gave even home studies, but she's a dim will get in the street, cuss the most vulgar things in her lungs, protecting the illegal who happens to be a child rapist. Low elaboration mode. Low elaboration mode. How do we fix this? We don't need necessarily better arguments. If we want less division, we don't necessarily need better facts. It's not about facts. We don't even need louder arguments. That's not needed. We need better arguments. Not louder arguments, better arguments. Yes, they're touching low elaboration mode in moms in Minnesota and stuff. But that's about some illegals in her town. If we were really doing it, let's just peel back. Her electric bill has gone through the roof. Her grocery bill has gone through the roof. Her health care is through the fucking roof. Right? Her kids get challenged even because their skin color, because they're white. She may even consider herself a Christian. That's under attack. But the low propensity has her hanging out on that capture side. The way to communicate through all of this is understanding how we're all in the same boat. Refusing to yell and scream because somebody's gay or Hispanic or black, and basically refusing to choose, which it happens on both sides, left or right, conservative or Democrat, which is why you hear me. You know I'm conservative. You fucking know I'm patriotic, but do I put myself out there as the patriotic program of the most patriotic Pulitzer? Here, waving the flag. No, I don't do that. I don't want to start with a divide. I want to start with, hey, this guy may be interesting. Let's talk. See, it's not about winning a debate. It's not about winning a debate. Look how many people of color or gay people or kinds of fucked up people like you that watch my program. We're all on here. We're not only moms and dads and pastors and preachers and granddaddies and great granddaddies. We're total fuck ups, isolated weirdos, rednecks. We're all kinds. It's not, we need louder arguments, period. Yes, I did say meat pipe. Meat pipe. One-eyed meat pipe. Get it right. Purple helmeted warrior of love. It's not about winning a debate. You got to stop that. It's not about winning. Look at all these people. Somebody say something again. You're a fucking retard. You're a retard. You're a communist. You're CIA. You need to be hung. It's none of that. It's about just fostering a sense of trust. Let's talk. Come on. Get away from hard factual confrontations on some of these. And maybe try to find some foster commonality from the empathic route. And the empathic route, ironically enough, is just a quick question. Where did you say you're from, Minnesota? Just a quick question, because I've always wondered. I got family up in Minnesota. I'm going to be a raging tranny. Has your electric bill really doubled? Or is that a lie? We have to learn how to do this. We really have to learn how to do this. And we really have to learn what works and what doesn't work. But in that little scenario, you could be standing there with the ugliest motherfucking bearded nosed, wimped out, wagadaggled tranny. Right? Screaming in your fucking face. Wait. I just want to ask one question. I got a lot of family up here in Minnesota. That's why I'm even here. I don't even give a shit about this stuff. Right? I'm just hanging out because my family's here. So hang on. I'm not one of them. Just hang on. I got a question for you. They keep on telling me their electric bill has doubled. Is that even true? Has your electric bill gone through the roof? I don't care what it is. Find something. Because here's what's happened. You've taken that energy thing here, and you have flipped that switch and got them into the one mode we need to get. They're not going to stick there. They're not going to stick there. And I'm going to show you that video one more time. When you do it in a switch flipping manner, which is what he does on purpose to teach you about it. When you do it in a switch flipping manner, boom, you bring out the violent side. Watch again.
Can I help you?
Hi. Do you live here?
Yeah, I do. And why are you recording?
So I saw your flag, and I really appreciate it because I'm actually with the Fighting Fascism and Right-Wing Tyranny Symposium, or the FARTS, and we're under a lot of pressure right now because we're trying to defend against MAGA. So we're circulating a short questionnaire. I was wondering if you'd be willing to answer a couple questions.
Yeah, I can do that for you.
Okay, great. I'm Finn, by the way.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. I saw your flag, so I figured you'd be a good person to ask. Would you support labeling conservatives domestic terrorists?
Yeah.
Okay, great. And I mean, we might as well call them maggots, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Do you do that sometimes?
I do.
Okay. Wow. And do you let your kids interact with maggots at school or anywhere?
No, absolutely not.
Okay. And would you support kind of just rounding up these maggots and putting them in jail or re-education camps so they can understand why their beliefs are harmful?
Yeah, I would.
Okay, great. And the last question, do you understand that you sound just like a Nazi?
No, I don't.
Yeah, you literally sound exactly like a Nazi. You want to round up the maggots and put them in jail and re-education camps, and you won't let your kids interact with them?
Okay, and what's your point?
Okay, you think you're against fascism, but you're actually endorsing fascist policies.
No, I'm not. Just
Yeah.
get off my property.
So,
Get
okay,
off
now
of
you
my
really
property.
sound like a fascist because
Get
you're.
off of my property.
I thought no
right now.
human is illegal.
Off
I
of my
thought no
property.
human was illegal.
Get off of my property now.
Take
Get
care.
off.
I'll put you. The farts are gonna put you on a
off.
fart watch list.
Josh's work is so valuable. So valuable. And because he's working on a condensed time, he gets to point this out. All I'm doing is kind of taking you to the next level. That is what the system wants. Josh do it in the right mode by teaching, but you understand that's what the system wants. That system needs you to disagree. That system needs for you to call them out. That's why I say call out politicians. People that are teaching the wrong stuff that claim to be election integrity experts, you call them out. Do you follow what I'm saying? What we have to do is we have to learn to use the system against itself. We have to move away and we have to accept right now we're in the mode that factual debates only lead to confrontations. And we need to try to move to more empathetic forms of communication. And I'm not saying that in a liberal mode. I'm saying it in just a listening mode, trying to find common ground. If you see me do it with people that come on the program, and yes, they can get pissed or whatever. Where are you from? What do you do for a job? How many kids you got, right? Study this a little bit. Think about it. Look at it. And in your responses, and the two you'll see me deploy, is I'll either try to draw them in, especially when you watch it online. Hey, let's have a talk. Come on, we'll talk about it. Or I take it to the ridiculous. Somebody was telling me I was a Jew baby killer or whatever. I forget what it is. And I said, shh, quit telling me. Oh my God, you're going to out me. People are going to be upset with me. I just use humor to disarm it. All I'm saying is we're trapped on both sides, folks. All of us. In many ways, we are trapped on both sides. And in many ways, the right has done such a good job of getting us to the low level. And the low level keeps us in that slogan bullshit world with no change. And we think we're doing something because there's all this chaos, but it's not. We got to move the needle. And if we're going to move the needle, you have to understand this science. You have to stand firm. We don't have to fight and argue about it. Right? But all of us are affected by bad elections. All of us are affected by bad numbers. All of us are affected by every single bad politician there is. But one of the things you should know, that was not about a social moment or any of those guys. That wasn't about, AOC or any of these rat bastards getting television coverage. Had nothing to do with television. It has to do with the symbology. This has nothing to do with getting television coverage. This was telling those guys, hey, you're a good person if you kneel, if you do this. Walking with ICE and stuff, it's not showing solidarity. It's basically telling the illegals they need to stay in office. We're with you, and it keeps that fight up. This is all advanced warfare against us. So it's not a press moment. It's not a them showing out moment. They are practicing warcraft. And I'm telling you, these guys, right and left, are trained very good. We're the cure. We've always been the cure. We always will be the cure. Please share this program. I love you all. I hope you learned something.
Our courts are based on clear and convincing evidence. Want convictions? Want justice? For what happened in the 2020 election? Then we need your help. Not fixing 2020 will damn our nation forever. The decision you make in the next few moments could decide whether we ever get our elections fixed or not. Here's why. Trump campaign and allies filed 64 different lawsuits. They all went down in flames. 100% of these cases were presented on "It's the machines," or "The machines changed the votes," or "The voting company executive said he would make sure Donald J. Trump would not win." They all went down in flames. Why? You can't bring theories to court as evidence. No supposed Zoom call or six-degree polynomial math theory or census data is or ever will be proof of fraud. You can't bring theories to court as evidence. Here's why. In both civil and criminal law, the side making a claim carries the burden of proof, and prosecutors must prove guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. Without physical or otherwise verifiable evidence, a case cannot meet this high threshold. Physical evidence is the key. The question is, did anyone get relevant, reliable, provable, testable, and duplicatable evidence of what really happened in the 2020 general election? And the answer is yes, absolutely. The full forensic audit of Maricopa County, Arizona is the only evidence-gathering work which gathered relevant, reliable, provable, testable, and duplicatable evidence of what really happened in the 2020 general election. Evidence so damning that the system, the deep state, and those who pull the strings of this country have fought to keep it hidden and have hoped to have it be forgotten to time. Almost $3 million invested in time, funds, and efforts to unlock that which the system wanted hidden. But now, that evidence is in danger of being lost forever. So if you want what happened in the 2020 election fixed, then we need your help. Please donate to protect and secure this historic evidence. With the 2026 midterms coming up, the system is going to try to lame duck President Trump and then most likely introduce new impeachment proceedings. This is the evidence which will help win the war which is surely to come. We need to keep Maricopa County full forensic investigation and archives secure and ongoing. So if you want what happened in the 2020 election fixed, then we need your help. Please donate to protect and secure this historic evidence. We need your help securing the full forensic audit archives. Don't allow the only testable, objective, and reliable 2020 election evidence fall into obscurity. Millions were spent on getting it documented and tested. This is historic evidence. Not fixing 2020 will damn our nation forever. The historic Maricopa County full forensic audit effort processed 20,895,610 digital and forensic images of varying formats, resulted in 208 million individual evidence-proof files. The system processed over 58 billion forensic measurements, resulting in over 2 trillion individual base computations. No hopium, no hype, just hardcore forensic evidence. Please make sure the Maricopa County full forensic audit archives survive. Donate now. So if you want what happened in the 2020 election fixed, then please donate to protect and secure this historic evidence. We can't do it without you. We need you. America needs you. Our future needs you. Please donate now. Not fixing 2020 will damn our nation forever. Please donate now.